hi everyone. This is the second topic of Earth Science Quarter 2 and the continuation of the introduction sa what is life, the first topic that we discussed. Alright, so unifying themes in the study of life. Okay, so let's just first review ano-ano yung mga characteristics of life. Kapag ikaw ay may buhay, what are the characteristics that you possess? So first, again, you are made up of cells, whether that be one cell or what we call the unicellular or multicellular, mga eukaryotic, diba? So most unicellular organisms are called prokaryotes and multicellular are eukaryotes. Okay. Another characteristic is they grow and develop, or like us, and yung mga halaman, mga hayop, no, from the fertilization of an egg by a sperm, and then there developed an embryo, and then a fetus, and then a baby, no, and then a full-grown adult individual. Okay, we grow and develop. Another is we can reproduce. Okay, we have two kinds, the sexual and asexual, right? And we exhibit metabolism, meaning we intake food. Okay, we can digest and process the food that we intake. Sa halaman naman, they can process, they intake water, no, to produce glucose or the food of the plant. And then another characteristic is they respond to their environment. Katulad nga ng kapag mainit, pinagpapawisan ka. Kapag malamig, nilalamig ka. And also different parts of the body ninyo nag-a-adjust in different temperatures and conditions. And lastly, our body could maintain homeostasis or balance. Pag nagkakasakit ka, kayang pagalingin ng katawan mo, yung sugat mo, yung mga simpleng lagnat, ubo, sipon. Ayan. To maintain the body. The balance inside the body. Okay? So, let's proceed. We have here 10 unifying themes in biology, in life. Okay? First is a biological system, and then cell, and so on. So let's discuss each. Let's first have the biological system. So system is defined as an organized group of interacting parts. Kaya di ba sa katawan merong digestive system, merong reproductive system, merong respiratory. Okay, different systems, different parts that coordinate or interact to achieve a specific goal. O ano bang goal ng mga system ng katawan? It is to create homeostasis or balance, di ba? For us to continue to be alive, to live and interact with our environment. Okay. So, living things work as a system. At the same time, they cannot be separated from non-living things. One example ay ito. So this picture, this illustration is what system of the body ito? This is the nervous systems. You can see you have there the brain and the spinal cord, and the nerves. When you see that, that pertains to the nervous system. Okay, different parts interacting. Hindi lang sa tao, meron din sa environment. We have here an example of an ecosystem. Ano ba tong picture na ito? This is a mangrove ecosystem. Yung mga puno na matataas ang ugat, mahaba, na nakababad sa tubig alat. Okay? So, this is also an ecosystem. Ano ba ang ecosystem? Interaction of both living and non-living things. Okay? Actually, a mangrove ecosystem is one of the richest ecosystem in the environment. Kasi kita mo meron siyang aquatic part and then the aerial part where different organisms feed and inhabit. Diyan nabubuhay. So, may mga ibon and then sa baba, merong mga fishes, crabs, and all. Alright, so that's the biological system. All life have biological systems. Another is cell. Okay. So you know that that is the basic unit dahil tayo bilang multicellular organism ay nagsimula sa isa hanggang dumami nag-multiply yung mga cells mo. Kaya ka nga nag-grow, correct? So this picture illustration is an example of a nerve cell. Alright? So, kapag ang isang tao ay pinanganak, say for example, a baby, meron na siyang specific number of nerve cells sa katawan. And as we grow older, yun ay nababawasan, nagde-degenerate, namamatay. Kaya 'di ba maraming tao ang kapag na-abuse mo ng mga toxic chemicals ang katawan, especially nakakaapekto sa utak, kapag medyo matanda ka na, you could possibly have or develop a disease. Say for example, an Alzheimer's disease, meaning memory loss. Marami ka ng nerve cells na namatay. Kasi connected lahat yan 'di ba? So kapag itong isang nerve cell na ito ay namatay na, different nerve cells na nakakonect sa kanya ay magkakaroon na ng separation, hindi na magkakaroon ng connection kasi patay na to. So those are some instances. Kapag naman may Alzheimer's, mas marami ng nerve cells ang patay or wala na, hindi na siya magka-connect. That's why sinasabi nila na yung mga memory mo nung matanda ka ay nabubura na. Tapos, ang matitira is yung mga nabuo mong memory ng bata. Kaya parang bumabata ka, nagigiisip bata kapag meron kang Alzheimer's disease. To the point na minsan, hindi mo na alam maglakad. O kaya naliligo sa labas, naguhubad. Kasi, nung bata ka, yun ang ginagawa mo. So, napakahalaga ng nerve cell natin. Some of the toxic materials or things that we intake in our body could affect or increase the degeneration or pagkamatay ng nerve cell. One is alcohol. Yan. Smoking, drugs. Yan mga major contributor of parang imbalance or disease sa katawan. Another example of a cell is a red blood cell. Okay? Bakit nga ba ganyan ang shape ng red blood cell? Bakit siya merong hollow part na parang malalim? The goal, purpose of red blood cell is to carry on materials, oxygen, to deliver it to different parts of the body. So, ba't nila lang siya bilog? Ba't kailangan may malalim? The purpose of that shape is first to hold more materials, mas marami siyang madala, and also to fit to smaller tubes or capillaries in the body para kaya nilang mag-squeeze dun sa maliliit na daan sa katawan. Alright. So that is also one example of a cell. Okay. Another. So as you know, nakalagay dyan, this is the process of intracytoplasmic sperm injection. This is a sperm cell. And this circle is the egg cell. Okay? Mostly known as the in vitro fertilization, wherein you collect the egg cell of the female, and then you collect the sperm cell of the male, and then tao ang mag-i-insert na sa laboratory. This process is done when couples or people wants to have a baby and they don't want to have sexual intercourse, or nahihirapan silang makabuo in the natural process. So, some of the people here in the Philippines na gumawa nito ay si Dr. Vicky Bello, ayan, sila Corina Sanchez. Though they used a surrogate mother because they are way too old to carry the baby. Okay, so pag sinabi nating surrogate, parang doon nilalagay yung na-fertilized na egg, imbes na yung mismong mother, yung mag-carry, ibang female ang magkikarry para mas healthy yung growth ng baby. Tsaka mas mai-deliver, mailabas ng maayos. Okay. So, those are just samples of some of the cells in your body. Oh, sorry. Okay. So, the third theme of life is the interaction with environment. Sabi dito, no man is an island. We cannot live alone. We need to interact with non-living things as well as living things, no? Organisms have evolved to live and interact with other organisms. Okay, so one example is this. Hindi ka na mabubuhay kung hindi mo gagamitin ang lupa. Okay, pagtataniman. This is good interaction because we produce crops that we could eat. However, this is one example of a not so good interaction, which is illegal logging. Nasosobrahan ang pagpuputol ng puno. So, whenever we cut one old tree, you have to replace it with 20 more na maliliit na puno. Kapalit niya to compensate with the loss of biological activity ng puno na yun na po-produce niya ng oxygen. Since pinatay na siya, wala na siya dun sa ecosystem, dapat palitan mo siya ng panibago. Okay. Next is the energy and life. Okay. So when we talk about this, we talk about the transfer of energy from one organism to the next. So basically that is the food web or the food chain, diba? O you already know that merong producers and then merong consumers, primary consumers, secondary, tertiary, and all. Decomposers, okay? So, living organisms use a source of energy for their metabolic activities. However, when you consume, say for example, the primary consumer is consumed by the secondary, mas less energy ang matatransfer sa secondary. It is only 10% of the energy na nakuha ng primary consumer sa producer or dun sa plant ang makukuha. So, 10% lang ang natatransfer. Meaning, kung ikaw ay kakain ng ano ba pwede mo kainin? Rabbit, no? Na nakakain ng daga. Yung daga nakakain ng whatever. And then, yung nang kinain ng daga, nakakain siya ng halaman or yung producer. Mas onti na yung na-transfer sa'yo na energy kasi ikaw yung nasa dulo ng chain. So, pag humaba, the more na mas malayo ka dun sa producer, less yung energy na nakukuha mo. Kahit busog ka, pero yung energy mo ay mabilis mawala. Oh, sorry. Okay, so one example of this is sinasabi ko yung producers or the autotrophs. They capture light energy to convert to chemical energy. So, basically, yung mga halaman. And we also have the heterotrophs, o yung mga consumers, like us. So, what is this? This is a gecko. These are living organisms that use chemical energy to store in molecules obtained from food. Okay. Ito din, these are heterotrophs. As well as the bear and the fish. Okay. So the fifth theme is form and function. Organisms' structures fit with its functions, sabi. May purpose kung bakit ganyan ang itsura ng kamay mo. Bakit meron ka 5 daliri. May purpose kung bakit ka may tuhod. Kung bakit ka may tenga and all. So, let's see. Pagdating sa plants, some plants have this structure called the tendrils, no? Sitaw, yan, kalabasa, meron mga ganyan. Why? Because they climb. Diba? Yung pag-grow nila is pa-vertical. So, they have to have something to cling or to wrap para makadikit sila dun sa pagtaas nila. So, one example of that is tendrils, no? Sa hayop naman, you have here, bat. Oh, bakit ang laki ng tenga ng bat? Merong ba, ano yan, wala lang ba yan? Or ano bang purpose? Of course, it has purpose, no? Hindi lang naman ganyan basta dinesign. So, bats are echolocators. Sa gabi sila nag-hunt. So, they produce a specific sound wherein kapag nag-bounce back sa kanila, alam nila na may prey doon sa part na yon. So, since hearing ang pinanghuhuli nila, ginawang malaki yung kanilang mga tenga. Another theme is reproduction and inheritance. Okay. The passing of traits. When we talk about inheritance, we talk about DNA. Okay. So, first, reproduction. Meron tayong asexual and sexual reproduction. This is one example of asexual, which is a starfish. Okay, a starfish can fragment and regenerate. Pwede niyang tanggalin itong part na ito sa kanya, mag-detach, and then it could develop into a new individual. So, ito din, yung natanggal na part na yan, itong natirang starfish na to, it could also develop another limb. So, that is asexual. That's their way for them to reproduce. Okay, another example of asexual is a hydra. So, you can see here, these are buds o yung maliliit na hydra. Once they mature, they can detach dito sa mother hydra or parent hydra, and then they can grow on their own and produce their own bud. So, ayan, that's also their way to multiply. Okay, and this is the sexual reproduction. O basically, sperm and cell sa mga hayop or tao. No? The seventh theme is regulation. Organisms must maintain homeostasis to survive in diverse environments. Paano ba to? So, regulation. Sa katawan ng tao, marami tayong systems, as I've said earlier, that regulates our body, that maintains our stand and balance. So, etong una, this is what system is this? The skeletal system. This one, pag nakita kayo ng spine and the brain, that is the nervous. This one, kapag ang focus ay heart, that is of course the circulatory. And this one, lungs. So, respiratory. And then here is the intestines. So, digestive system. And muscles, of course, the muscular system. These all regulate the body, no? Kapag nagkasugat ka, magre-respond yung mga yan. Kapag nahirapan kang huminga, they will adjust. Kapag ikaw may problema sa pagkain mo, mag-a-adjust din yan. Ilalabas niya yung pagkain kung sobra. Kung kulang, mararamdaman mo nagugutom ka. Okay? Another part of the regulation is in your brain is the hypothalamus. Alright. So, this dictates everything. Most of your involuntary and voluntary processes in the body is dictated by the hypothalamus. Kung kailan ka iihi, kung kailan ka kakain. This decides whether you are hungry or not, whether you are thirsty. Yan. So, kapag nagka-problema ka na dyan sa part na yan, yun na yung time na hindi mo na alam na bigla ka nang naihi. Or hindi mo alam na meron ka na palang waste na ine-excrete. Or sinisipon ka na, tumutuloy nisipon mo, hindi mo alam, hindi mo nararamdaman. So, things like that, no? So, mahirap kapag ito ay na-damage. Because it performs most of the regulation in the body. Another that regulates the body is the blood. Mostly, bukod sa purpose ng blood that carries oxygen and materials in the body, in different parts, it mostly maintains the temperature of the body as well. Okay. So, it regulates the body temperature. Sorry. Okay, how about the kidney? Ang kidney naman, this is the kidney. It regulates what? The water that goes out of the body. Yung sa ihe, ito yon. And when we talk about pancreas, it regulates sugar. Okay, and basically the insulin part of the body. Yan yun, pancreas. Okay, the 8th theme is adaptation. Living organisms survive depending on how one will adapt to its changing environment. Animals must adapt. Kung hindi tayo mag-a-adapt, we will die. Survival of the fittest nga, di ba? So, we have here the owl first. Ang mga kwago ay nocturnal animals, no? They adapted the night vision kasi gabi nga sila nag-hunt, di sila natutulog sa gabi. So, doon sila naghahanap. So, they have to develop that. Another is this. Different thickness of the leaves of cactus. Meron silang specialized leaves. Why? Kasi nga, of course, limited ang water intake ng cactus. Di naman sila nadidiligan every day because they are mostly desert plants. So, what they do is whenever there is water, they store it sa mga dahon nila. So, kaya makakapal yan. Another is this animal, so giraffe. Okay? Because they have to adapt dahil yung part na mabababa ay naubos na ng mga mostly small animals. So, they adapted and developed a longer neck para makakain sila sa taas, sa foliage ng puno. Para sila yung mag-feed doon, di sila maubusan ng pagkain. Okay, another is this. This is a bacteria or a kind of bacteria which is called extremophiles, or microorganisms that live or adapt to extreme temperatures, whether that be a very hot temperature or a very cold temperature. Okay. There are places in the world na nandoon sila. Okay, another is the coat of polar bear. Kaya siya kumapal because of the weather of the environment. Kasi kung hindi, mamatay sila. Sobrang lamig. Okay, another is the peacock. So, meron niyang mga colorful. This is the male peacock. Colorful design sa kanyang feathers that attract females. So, yan, ginagamit niya yan para makapag-reproduce siya. Alright, so, second to the last theme is the evolution. Okay, the ever-changing living things over time. The change of living things over time. The genetic makeup of a population of a species changes. It evolves. Okay, one example is this. During what era na ngayon yung nag-evolve ang mga aquatic animals to be reptiles because the ocean is so full of animals. So they developed legs para makapagpunta sa lupa, okay, to find another habitat and to find other sources of food. Another evolution ay ito, tao, of course. Okay. And lastly is, the last theme is biology and society. Alright, so this is the field of science that changed the lives of all organisms through research. What we do here, the main theme is what we call the bioremediation, wherein gumagamit tayo ng mga microorganisms para matulungan tayo sa mga problema ng community or society. Say, for example, yung waste, yung mga basura. Napakaraming plastic na napoproduce. So, one of the things that they discovered is yung mga, what we call the plastic-eating bacteria or the Legionella saccharensis. So, yung mga yan. Sila ay nagko-consume ng plastic. So, they help with lowering yung bulk of plastic na meron sa mga basura natin. Okay. So, those are the unifying themes. So, 10 yan. Okay? So, if you want to recall the discussion, you can just replay it again. And I will send the third discussion to you, which is reproduction. Okay. So, let's try to answer some examples. Anong theme or unifying theme ito? So, 10 na yon. Sa 10 na yon, what is this? Where eagles have wings. Na ganito yung itsura. Okay? Another. This is actually a sperm cell in an egg cell. So, the theme here is reproduction. Okay? Okay, so let's answer this question. It is the continuity of life. It explains the continuity of life. Anong theme yun? To continue, para magtuloy-tuloy ang buhay. So, evolution, regulation, form and function, or reproduction and inheritance. The answer is reproduction and inheritance. Kaya nga, to multiply, to continue life. Okay, another. Living things are considered as such if they possess which of the following characters? Ikaw daw ay alive or considered a living thing if you have this characteristic. So what's that? The answer is what? You grow and develop. Okay? The rest ay hindi. The rest ay mali yan. The answer is when you are alive, you grow and develop. Okay, another. Which of the following best explains why humans sweat when they feel hot? Anong unifying theme yon? That is maintain internal environment or regulation. Yun. This is under regulation. Okay. Pag mainit, you respond to it. Okay. Another, it is a unifying theme of life science that explains the improvement of lives of organisms through research. Okay, so this is the last theme, which is biology and society. Under bioremediation, di ba yung kanina, yung huling theme yun. To help improve the lives of people through research. That is biology and society. Okay, so that is the end of the lecture. Kapag meron kayong gustong itanong, you just message me, and whenever na-resume ang klase natin, we will have a quiz and discussion, and I will entertain more questions from you. Yun lang, HE, and I hope that you learned something today. Thank you, everyone.